we save 30 seconds. So we have now, Alessandro Morelli from AXA Corporate Solution. We had Patrick de la Morinerie, the Deputy CEO today, talking about shipyards and insurance cover after delivery. Mr. Alessandro Morelli is the underwriting manager of the Italian branch. He is the past chairman of the committee of the Italian Insurance Company Association dedicated to the Marine Working Group, and today is chairing the committee of IUMI dedicated to loss prevention technical. So he's used to be the chairman. He will understand our need. He will try not to make us sleep after lunch, which is not an easy task. So be brief and effective as always. Alessandro Morelli.
Thank you, Mauro. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Maybe you will be wondering why a marine insurer is interested into post-state control regulations, which in principle should be more the interest of maritime authorities. In the 10 minutes I have available, or even less, I will try to explain the reason for this interest. First, I'm fairly sure all of you know what the Paris Memorandum of Understanding is, but also to put my speech into perspective, allow me to say that the Paris MO is the regional agreement of 27 maritime countries, European countries, Cyprus, Malta, and Canada, for the inspection of ships calling at their ports with the aim of enhancing quality and safety of ships. Within the scope of this action, the Paris MO will introduce, with effect from the 1st of January 2011, a new inspection regime. So in my short speech, I will try to outline the highlights of the new regime, particularly focusing on the two new concepts of ship risk profile and company performance. I will indicate where to find more details, because I won't be able to go into any detail. And I will try to explain how these instruments aimed at the enhancement of the quality and safety of ships is in the common interest of all the parties which are involved in maritime adventures, and amongst them ship owners and ship managers, but also marine insurers who can use it as a true risk assessment and as a way to differentiate higher quality ships and operators' quality from the others. So the first concept, ship risk profile. The Paris MO collects data from inspection. It carries out approximately 24,000 inspections a year. And using details of inspection in the region in 36 months, a ship risk profile will be attributed to a ship inspected on basis of generic parameters within type and age of ship, and the performances of entities which are involved with the ship, the flag state, the recognized organization, the management company, and historical parameters, namely deficiencies and detention as a consequence of the deficiency. On the combination of these factors, each ship will be attributed a risk profile. We will have a high-risk ship as opposed to low-risk ship. We will see that there are different assessing methods. Those ships which will not be either high risk or low risks will be classified as standard risks. I'm sorry, I keep on pushing the wrong button. The high risk profile will come from a weighting point where a number of factors will be important. Ship age and type, the poor performance of the entities as the flag, if the flag is blacklisted, the recognized organization, which is the entity which is responsible for the release of statutory certificates, and the management company. We will see that the company performance, as I mentioned, is the second important concept. And on top of this, the detentions in the previous 36 months, particularly if more than one detention has been detected. If the weighting points, the total, reaches 5, the ship will be considered as a high-risk ship. On the opposite side, to attribute a low-risk profile, no weighting system will be used. And it is noteworthy that in this case, ship type and age will not be relevant, since it is recognized that even an older ship, if well managed and well maintained, can represent a low risk. On the other hand, what will be required will be the excellence of other parameters, such as the white list flag and the fact that the flag is IMO audited, and the high performance of the entities involved, consequently the recognized organization and the management company. It will also be required, sorry about this. It will also be required that in the previous 36 months period, at least once the vessel has been inspected with less than 5 deficiencies in each inspection and with no detentions. If the totality of these parameters is not fulfilled, the ship won't be considered as a low risk, but if the weighting points does not reach 5, it will be considered as a standard risk. That's how the system will work to attribute the ship risk profile. The second new concept is the company performance. We have seen that the low risk profile is very important within the scope of the ships, and particularly the company high performance is required to attribute a low risk profile to a ship. So if a company performance is not high, none of the ships in the fleet will be qualified as a low-risk ship, because the company performance is a concept which takes into account the results of all the ships which are included in the fleet. The company performance is a quite complicated process in 3 steps, which I will explain very, very quickly. The first one is to look at the company inspection history. So on basis of this, a company detention index and deficiency index is worked out. Note that ISM deficiency related will count 5 times. So for explanation purposes, I assumed a situation with a 3% detention index and a 4.5 points deficiency index. The second step is to compare these indexes with the average Paris-Mo ratios. So in this, which are on basis of the average with the margin of 2 points plus and below. In this case, we see that the company indexes are below average as concerned the detention and on average as concerned the deficiency. So there will be these 3 categories: below average, on average, and above average. The first and the third and final step will be to put these averages in the company performance matrix. You see the column on the right-hand side, which gives 4 possible levels of performance: very low, low, medium, and high. We made an assumption with the detention index below average and the deficiency on average, which gives a result of a company performance which is medium. Now note 2 points. In cases where no previous history of inspection is available, the company is considered as a medium risk. And high performance, which, as I explained, is necessary to qualify fleet ships as low-risk ships, is attributed only if both the detention index and the deficiency index are below average. I said we are talking about excellence. I'm aware that my explanation has been very quick, so you can find more detailed information on the Paris website, www.parismo.org. Within the scope of the website, there is a ship profile calculator and a company performance calculator. So to draw some conclusions, I think we can say that the introduction of the new inspection regime should contribute to enhance quality and safety of ships. The risk profile attributed to an individual ship will have an impact on its operations. Low-risk ships will face much more diluted inspections from port state authorities, from 24 to 36 months after the previous one, as compared to the standard risk ships and even more to the high-risk ships, for which the windows for inspection opens 5 months after the previous one. The depth of inspection will also be different. The banning regulations will become more stringent in case of multiple detentions with a longer period of banning in addition. And ships will be targeted for inspection on basis of 2 levels of priority linked to the time window and to eventual overriding factors. So what can we expect? Operators of low-risk ships will benefit from smoother operations of their ships, since the vessel will have no longer time window and will be selected less frequently for inspection, and the risk of being detained with the consequent waste of time will be much more remote. As far as insurance is concerned, low-risk ships could have easier access to insurance, both hull and cargo, as insurance can be expected to use a ship risk profile as a tool for risk assessment and take a more positive approach towards low-risk ships and high-performance companies, and anyhow differentiate standard risk ships from high-risk ships. Finally, and more generally speaking, I lost the slide, and it doesn't matter. More generally speaking, increased safety of ships should entail a reduction of accidents with beneficial effects on the whole economy, on the environment, and on the society at large. Thank you very much.